Hello everybody and welcome to a different type of video on my channel. As you can see, I'm not starting things off with gameplay. As you can see, it's me in the flesh. So this is a new series on my channel, and hopefully I make a lot of videos regarding this series. So basically what I'm going to be doing is, if you don't know, I am a avid trophy hunter. I currently only have 11 platinums. Although I really want that to change. Obviously I want to get a lot more platinums in, and I decided, you know what, let's make a series about it. I've been seeing other people like platinum trophies and the road to do that, and I was like, you know what, that looks like fun. I like trophy hunting. I like making YouTube videos. Let's give it a shot, shall we? And here we are. So I'm gonna kick things off with Cry Primal here. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry if I look like a mess. I just got off the gym and I am tired, but I wanted to make this video because I knew later on I would have no time to make this video. But anyway, so I want to start things off with Cry Primal here. So basically how the series is gonna work. Oh, I'm sorry. Basically how the series is gonna work is I'm gonna review the game. Well, sorry. First, I'm gonna tell y'all guys, a little intro. I'm gonna show you the gameplay of me getting the platinum, which I will be showing y'all guys shortly. And after that, I will be giving you my review of the game. No, I'm not a really good reviewer of games. I'm just reviewing them from what I know, and I will also review how hard it was to platinum this game. So you'll understand it once I get into it, once I actually show you guys what I'm doing here. And I just want to say I apologize if the video camera isn't that good. I'm using my iPhone, and pretty much it. So of course I am platinuming Cry Primal. This is my 12th platinum. I successfully platinumed it last night. So here is gameplay of me actually platinuming it.
Alright everybody, and this is the footage of me getting the platinum, which was getting the last achievement, the last trophy that I had to do, which is leap off the cliff. There you go. What is it? Conda of Faith. Of course, this is post commentary, so I didn't record it while I was playing it. But you saw there I got all the other trophies. Here is the location. I really wouldn't recommend using my video as a guide to this trophy. But if you are playing it and you are watching this video and you need this trophy, there you go, I guess. But it's set in this location. So now we're gonna make our way up, I guess, and get this Conda of Faith trophy. I purposely saved this trophy for the end because it's not a hard trophy to do, because this video's already gonna be long enough, and I didn't want this video to be like super long and it's not gonna be interesting and all that jazz. So I made it a trophy that it's not hard, but all I have to do is just go one place and then do something, and then I get my trophy. So as we make our way up this trophy cliff thingy, I just want to say that if you're watching this, if you're still watching this, thank you so much. Didn't know if this series was actually gonna work, and it looks like I'm having fun making these videos. So if you guys want me to make more videos about this, please let me know. And let me know of any games you want me to platinum. Of course, I've already planned plenty of games. I could make videos of those. I could, but y'all guys gotta let me know. So far, the games I've planned were Uncharted 4, Sleeping Dogs, Minecraft, this game, Cry Primal, but I'm already making a video on it. Dead Rising, the original, the first one, that was exclusive to Xbox 360 and all that jazz. So if you guys want me to make a lot more, but I can show y'all guys my trophies later. But if you guys want me to make more videos about this of games I already completed, please let me know so I can make them. But anyway, we are making our way up this cliff here. I believe this is the cliff that we have to hop off. If I could get up there. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. Okay, there you go. I believe this is the cliff that we have to hop off. It looks like it, because I have not explored this location yet. And supposedly I looked at a guide earlier, and we're supposed to land on that. Well, I don't know if I can aim down there. Hold on. There you go. I'm supposed to land on that water thing real quick. It looks kind of sketchy, but I'm gonna go for it. I don't know if I'm gonna land. I think all you have to do is just jump off. Okay, there you go. I got the trophy, Conda of Faith and Apex Predator. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. There is the evidence, proof that I have the Cry Primal trophy now. And now I'm probably gonna save it and quit, because I'm probably never gonna play this game again, considering I already platinumed it. That's the only reason I really played it as much as I did. Well, there you go. There go my stats. I finished the game in 63 hours. The reason it took so long is because that goddamn learn all skills trophy. That trophy was a tough booger. But there's some other games. I also have other games here. Don't look at the last one, please. My name is Mayo. Please don't look at that. But as you see there, I have the Apex Predator trophy. And let me see the picture. Okay, it's kind of a bad picture. But there you have it, folks. There is all the trophies for Far Cry Primal there. So I'm gonna see if there's any like that kind of stand out to me real quick. The learn all skills was tough. The collectibles one was also not as tough, but it was pretty boring considering some collectibles were a bitch and a half to get because they were in caves and whatnot. But in memory, those are the two hardest trophies that I can remember. Everything else was basic, just doing stuff. I thought sharpshooter and bullseye were gonna be tough, but not really. All you have to do is just restart the outpost, and then yeah, like I said there, all you have to do is restart the outpost and do this. But here is a trophy that really I hated so much, was learn all skills. So yeah, there you go. I basically planned up everything else is pretty easy. Everything else I expect y'all guys to get. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. If I got it, you could get it as well. But yeah, like there you go. The collectible trophy, that one was a bitch and a half because my game crashed like kind of a few times because of that trophy. I don't know why, but there you have it, folks. 100% completion on Far Cry Primal. That's what I like to see. And as you can see there, I have 12 platinums, and now I have the platinum for Far Cry Primal, so I'm planning to be playing this game again. So let's move on to the next part of my review.
Alright, so going into this game, going into Far Cry Primal, I was honestly, I get it, you have a fast car. Anyway, sorry about the background noise. Going into this game, honestly, and I'm sorry if you see me looking down. I have a notebook ready to follow everything I want to talk about. So if you see me looking down a lot, that's what I'm looking at. And if you also see a lot of jump cuts, it's because I'm reading and I don't want to pause the video a lot. But anyway, so so going into this game, I was honestly afraid. I was afraid because I am a big fan of the Far Cry franchise. I played 3. That's probably my favorite of Far Cry game. 3, 4, and 5. I never played the first 2. I might actually go back and platinum those. I'm not sure yet, but who knows. But honestly, going into this game, I was kind of afraid because I'm such a huge Far Cry fan. I apologize, and I was afraid because how previous Far Cry elements are going to implement into this game. What I mean by that is, how is like outpost going to implement in this game? How is hunting obviously, but how is stealth going to implement into this game? How is long range battles going to implement into this game? Because if it's set in primal stages, so of course there's no frags, there's no grenades, there's no snipers, there's no alarms, there's basically just clubs, spears, and bows. And so honestly, I was afraid, how is my beloved a franchise that I love a lot going to implement these previous elements which made the Far Cry franchise really popular into this new experience. So honestly, I was pretty afraid going into that because I didn't know if it was gonna do well. I didn't know if it was gonna, blow out and vanish, because honestly, it's primal stages. We don't see a lot of games set in primal stages. So I was kind of afraid, but can I just say that they did a really great job. They implemented outpost. Of course, spoilers if you haven't played the game, obviously. But they did a great job in implementing outposts. They added bonfires. They did a good job in implementing a lot of previous Far Cry elements, such as stealth. Of course, you can use your bow for long range battles. Hunting was great. Crafting was great. I'm sorry about the noise. Everything about this game was great, because it never in my time playing this, I felt like I was playing a different game. If you understand what I'm saying. Never during playing this, I felt like I was playing a game that wasn't a Far Cry game. Because even though it's a completely different setting, even though it's a completely different universe, it always felt like I was playing a Far Cry game, because they just used previous Far Cry elements well. And that's something I I kind of appreciate from Ubisoft there, that they never in my time playing this I felt like I wasn't playing a Far Cry game, which was really great, considering that was one of my main concerns going into this game. But anyway, like I said, with spoilers, so I'm gonna talk about the main story now. So basically, you are a Wenja warrior. You're from a tribe, and you're investigating the map, the Land of Ors, and you're a Wenja warrior called Takkar. And there's two other tribes that, you know what I'm saying, going up against you, the Itzla and also the Udam. And I'm also gonna be showing gameplay footage while I'm talking as well, so y'all guys will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so there's Udam, and then there's the Itzla, and they hate the Wenja, and then the Wenja basically you have to protect your people because you're part of a tribe. You're a Wenja member, and you're a beast hunter, and you're like the oh yeah, you're the one, you're the one who's gonna save us all and all that jazz, all that great stuff. So basically it was all of that, and just like previous Far Cry games, oh, you're the chosen one, blah 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 blah. So anyway, so basically I'm going to like not talk about in depth, because if you want to play in depth I would advise you play it or watch the gameplay of it. But I am going to go the main major events that happened in the game. I'm going to obviously talk about, because without those I don't know how I could possibly review this game, even though it's 4 years old. It was fun. Now that is something that I always like about Far Cry games. Their games are fun. The stories are not always the most well written, not always the most makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But they're still fun. They still have fun missions that you have to do. They still have different elements that, you know what I'm saying, like driving, like previous Far Cry games, the airplanes and all that jazz. But in this game, it was fun. It was just like another previous Far Cry game. It's just a fun game, you know what I'm saying? It's just a fun game, a fun way to spend the time. And honestly, my thought about the story is it was short. It honestly could have benefited from it being longer, but the fact that it was really condensed and really short, like I cannot, like, it took me 30 hours to finish a story. And I know that's like, oh, that's probably not even 30, it was somewhere like 25. And now you're thinking like, oh, 25 hours for a story, that's not even a long time. My man, 25 hours with the story, including outpost, including bonfires, where there's like 30 combined of those, including the hunting, including all the other stuff. 25 hours to complete the main story. Honestly, to me, that's just crazy. I guess it's because we're just so used to long games, but honestly, the story was too short for me to get invested into. I know, because I didn't even get invested to the story until you have to like go to the go to the fort and invade Udam fort, and then kill and then get Da, and with the Isla fort as well. At first I was kind of struggling to get into the game. I was struggling to like focus on the story, basically, because it was just like, although the missions were fun, after a while there's only so much you can do, if you know what I'm saying. There's only so much you can, okay, go here, steal this thing, okay, go here, kill this person, go here, free the members. Like, there's only so much of that after a while gets repetitive, if you catch my drift. So that's basically a complaint I have about the game. It felt kind of repetitive at times, which is probably why it was shortened, because they knew that this primal stage is only so much they can do. Which, I mean, that's probably the best thing to do, instead of having to play a game constantly and having to do the same things over and over. It was probably a great idea to shorten the game instead, but I wish there was a way that they could have, you know, implemented different ways, you know what I'm saying, different stuff to do. But that's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying. Obviously it's just my opinion. The game was short, and it was kind of, oh, I'm sorry about that. The game was short, and it was kind of hard to get into, which is one of my biggest complaints. Another complaint that I have about is basically, could go into the characters category here, but I'm going to include it in main story because it is really important in the main story. It is the main antagonist, the main boss, the main villain. So in this game, you don't really have one main boss like it was in Far Cry 3, 4, and well, 5, I guess, because you had like 5 different guys there, or 3. But in this game, there wasn't. It was like similar to Far Cry 5. You go to a part of the map, and then you have to kill the tribe member, the leader of the tribe member there, which I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of how Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4 was set, where they introduce you to this antagonist, and they're like, "Hey, this is the main guy. Kill him."
All right, that's another thing I really wanted to touch up on this Far Cry Primal review, talking about the main story, is that there was no boss character development scene. For example, in this cutscene here, when you kill the damn boss, Eula, I still don't even know how to pronounce his name, ULL. When you kill him, when I killed him, I didn't really feel anything like, oh yes man, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like when I killed Voss and Far Cry 3, I felt like really like proud of myself, like really like, oh yeah, I killed the guy who was tormenting me this whole time during the gameplay. But when I killed him, this man right here, I didn't really, I didn't really feel anything him dying, because he didn't torture me along through the gameplay. And I know it's because we have 2 bosses in Far Cry Primal, but obviously they could have added more missions. They could have screwed around with us. They could have attacked our village and actually give me a reason to hate this guy. Because really, the only reason I hated this guy was because he was a rival tribe. But apart from that, Ubisoft and Far Cry Primal here, they didn't give me any reason to hate this guy, and they didn't really give me any reason to hate the other Isla boss. So that's really something that kind of ticked me off, because I wish they would put more into developing their bosses and saying, okay, because all they did was just say, this is the bad guy, go kill him, he's another tribe, you hate him, and that's it. They didn't give me a reason to hate him. They didn't say, oh yeah, he burned down your village, he killed a lot of people, which he probably did, but I want to see that, because I can't just take your word for it, if you know what I'm saying. So that was basically another really big pet peeve that I had about this game, because we all know Far Cry 3 had Voss and Hoyt, and then Far Cry 4 had Pagan, and it felt satisfying, ending them. It felt satisfying killing them, but I really didn't get any satisfaction out of killing this guy and the Isla boss, which it's not a good thing. So that's basically something I had to say about this main story thing here. So yeah, I was really disappointed that there was really no evil boss like there was in other games.
We now go into characters. A big plus of this game is that there is a lot of different kind of characters, because it is said in Primal Stages they don't speak English, they don't act like how we act nowadays. Obviously there's gonna be a lot of different ways characters react. For example, in your member in your tribe alone, there's like a member who's good in taming bees. There's a member who's good at crafting stuff. There's a member of good at hunting and all that kind of jazz. But I will say a big flaw that I have in this game is that after a while, there's only like 3 or 4 characters that you really remember the name of. Because honestly, I played on the game last night, okay, and it's the morning after, and I swear I cannot remember the side characters' names. I cannot remember the fighter dude. I cannot remember the bald dude with only one arm. I cannot remember their names for the life of me. So that's honestly a main flaw. If I can literally platinum your game last night and put like 60 hours into, or not 6, what's this? I don't know. I showed it in the gameplay. I think it was 60. If I could put 60 hours into your game and I cannot remember the side characters, there's something wrong with that. You catch my drift? There's just something wrong with that. If I can't remember your side characters after playing the game for 60 hours, that's just something that, again, another flaw of Far Cry Primal is that there is literally nothing to do with these characters as well. Like after you save them, and after you for example, this would be a spoiler. Like I said, it's spoilers anyway. But you have to get a certain members of tribe members, and that, for the life of me, I cannot remember their name. One was a hunter, one was a crafter, and one was like a spiritual dude, and then the other one was like a fighter, a brawler, whatever. And then of course you unlock skills on each of their categories. But the thing is that once you save them, or once you tell them, oh, come to the Wenja population village and then we'll help you and you can help us. After you do that, right? After you do that, and they're in your population, the only thing you can really do with them is upgrade their hut. And once you upgrade their hut, there's literally nothing else you can do. All you have to do is story mission, side quest. And I just wish there was more interaction you could do with these characters, if you know what I'm saying. Like maybe like they said like a Fallout 4 theme where like they follow you around and they explore the map with you, and there's like more dialogue or anything like that. But there's nothing like that, you know. It's just they you save them, they come to your village. After you upgrade their hut, there's literally nothing else you can do with them, and that's it. That's final. They're just in your village, just chilling out, hanging out. I mean, there's really nothing else you can really say about that. There's nothing else you can really do with the characters, and that's something that ticks me off, considering I care about character development and all that, Cat. Because if you don't make me care about your character, I'm not gonna give a damn about your character. Like the only character I can remember is Da and Takkar. I can't even remember the Isla main boss, because that's how forgettable that person was. You only see that person like twice. Like in previous Far Cry games, for Far Cry 3 for example, because that's my favorite and that's the most I remember. You would see Voss like plenty of times, like in previous you would see Voss plenty of times in previous interactions, previous cutscenes, and he would always try to kill you, but of course you would always like live. And in this game, you don't see the main boss. Maybe you see them like once, and after that, you go to the fort, or of course you're prepared to go to the fort. But there's just no character development there, and that's something that really takes me off. Because, of course, another thing I have written here is there's really no character development. There isn't at all.
But character development wasn't only a problem on the main story with the bosses. It was also a problem with the side characters as Tensei, I don't even know how to say his name. Or the other guys, the hunter, the fighter, and the crafter. You do one mission with the other guys. With Tensei is different because you had to, do the visions. But with the other guys, you literally just did one mission and they go into your village, and then maybe there was a side mission, maybe, because I know the fighter one had a side mission, but that's it. After that, all you can literally do is just talk to them in your village. Only one line of dialogue. Like, I wish there was not maybe missions, because I know that it's always hard to put missions, but at least like interactions. Like, let me do something with this character. Like a training system. I give the crafting guy something and he gives me something valuable back, something like that, instead of just him being in the village and picking his ass all day. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that really took me off. There's nothing else after saving them and after completing the main stuff you can do. There's nothing else you can do with them, and it's literally pointless to have them in the village. I felt like just doing these missions was just to complete the game, and I shouldn't feel that way. I should have a purpose to do the reason why I'm doing it. I should have, I'm sorry, I'm starting, but I should have a reason to do a certain action to the character, and not just because the story's telling me you have to do this to complete the game. Like that's another thing that takes me off. I wish there was more stuff you could do with these characters, because honestly, they could just be cardboard standouts in this game, and I wouldn't even notice, because they don't do jack shit apart from after you do their missions. So that's basically all I had to talk about the characters. That was really something that I really hated in this game. But every game has its positives and negatives. But that's basically all I had to talk about when it comes to characters. Let me talk about the next subject I got to talk about.
Alright, well, now we got main story and characters out the way. Another big factor of your game is going to flop or do well is, of course, the gameplay. So previously I stated that I was terrified, or not terrified, but I was annoyed, or not annoyed, I was like worried about how previous Far Cry games were going to implement into this new Primal universe. And honestly, like I said earlier, I still stand by it. It always felt like I was playing a Far Cry game. It never felt like I was playing a new game. I never felt like I was playing a new series. It just felt like a Far Cry game. And that's how I wanted it to feel like, and that's how it did. So they did a good job on that part, for example. But of course, since this is set in the primal stages, there's obviously going to be new different methods of how to do stuff. For example, in previous Far Cry games, you had a camera. That's how you spot your enemies. In this game, you have an owl, which is kind of badass because not only can the owl like spot enemies super far away, but they can like you can drop down and kill them, and then you can also drop like bombs, and you can it's just so dope that you can do stuff like that. The owl was such a really badass addition to this game, because like I said, how else would you be able to spot enemies without the owl? Literally no way. Spotting enemies is literally one of the main features in Far Cry, and without spotting enemies, how else would you do it? Because you don't have a camera, you know what I'm saying? So honestly, that the owl was a badass addition to a Far Cry game that did well, you know what I'm saying? The owl was just badass. And another thing that was new in this game was taming beasts. Of course, there's always wild animals in previous Far Cry games like jaguars, lions, bears, you know, all that stuff. But something different about this game is that you can actually tame them and they can fight for you. So that was really something cool, you know what I'm saying? It was like badass because you could be fighting a bunch of Udam warriors, and then behind you is a saber-toothed tiger, a blood-fang saber-toothed tiger, a big old bear, and all them stuff. They would just follow you, and then they would help you kill the other dudes. It was cool because you have a beast with you. You know what I'm saying? It was cool because I know in Far Cry 5 you could tame like Cheeseburger and then a lion, but in here you can tame like, what was it, like 10, 15 type of beast. And of course, the top three were of course the white wolf, and the blood fang, and the cave bear. So honestly, if you're looking into playing this game and you want to tame a badass beast, I would definitely say you get the blood fang saber-toothed tiger, because that man is that tiger is badass. I'll tell you what. But taming beasts was a great addition in this game, because honestly, I know in Far Cry 5 you could like have guys follow you and whatnot, but obviously I don't know if they would have done that in this game. And with Far Cry Primal, the beast following you, that was just such a cool addition that they added in this game. And honestly, props to them, because it was cool because you don't have to explore the world alone. The beast also spots enemies for you. The beast can attack enemies. They could be stealthy just like you. It was such a cool element that honestly, I don't say Primal it needed, but it was really appreciated. So another thing that we have here is crafting. Of course, previous games you could craft syringes, you could craft loot bags, money bags, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. But in this game, crafting is back, and crafting is, crafting is great. You know what I'm saying? Crafting is great like it. Crafting is great like how it used to be. You know what I'm saying? You can craft more spears, you can craft more clubs, you can craft holders to hold more animal skins, more animal fat, more. Crafting is just good as ever, you know what I'm saying? And of course there's no grenades, so you can craft fire bombs, you can craft berserk bombs, which is basically just poison bombs that make them attack each other, which that was really badass. You can craft traps, you can craft plenty of stuff, longbows, hunter bows. You can craft plenty of stuff, and it was honestly badass because you can craft all this kind of stuff, and there was more stuff that you could craft here than I think there was in previous Far Cry games. I might not be 100% correct about that because I haven't played previous Far Cry games in a while. But yeah, it was just cool that crafting was, obviously I think I knew crafting was going to be back, but I didn't know how much you would be able to craft, considering again this is in primal stages, so I wasn't sure of how much stuff you would actually be able to craft. And when I saw like that big old list of stuff you could craft, I was honestly, it felt good, because I was like, holy crap, there's so much stuff you can craft. This actually gives me like more motivation to go hunting, you know what I'm saying? Because without crafting, I basically would have never actually went hunting. I would never went for plants and stuff like that, which honestly, crafting was great in this game. Which takes me to another topic I have here on gameplay. Was in this game you could you could create your village. And when I mean village, well, not create it because you don't have like liberty to do what you want, but you save Wenja members from around the land of ores, and they come to your population. I think when I finished the game, I had like 250, something like that. Um, Basically, it actually, for example, the more population you have, the more stuff, the more skills you can unlock, the more XP you can have, you know what I'm saying? So it actually gives you motivation, because whenever you run around the map, you get like random help Wenja, and it's just like random stuff like, oh, free this man from the Udam, or free this man from the Isla. It actually, because every single time you do that, you gain a new member or two for your population, and since you actually get rewards now for having more members in your population, it actually gives you, I know it gave me motivation to actually help that man, because previously I would have just ran past and be like, no, fuck off, you know what I'm saying? But now, since you actually get like rewards, you actually get stuff for actually helping this man, I actually felt like I had to help him because it would help me out in the long run. So that was honestly a great addition to this game.
Alright, and talking about gameplay, another feature that was in previous Far Cry games, but I feel like in this game was really implemented and really showed what else it can do, was hunting. In this game, hunting was great, actually. I'm not really a big fan of hunting, period, in games. Like, I wasn't a fake fan of hunting in previous Far Cry games, but in this game, it was more fun to me, because not only were there the 3 big missions where you had to kill the big old mammoth, as you can see here, the blood-faced saber-tooth and the cave bear, but it was satisfying killing them, because you had to set up traps and then you could kill them. But if they kill you, you can come back and all the damage that you did on them was still there. So it wasn't infuriating when you died and you almost had them dead like it was in previous games. In this game, it felt satisfying to kill a big old mammoth because they were killing you previously, and I feel like that was a big old touch in this game, because obviously nobody wants to be killed over and over by a big ass mammoth. So when you actually kill the mammoth, it just feels so satisfying that you did something that nobody else in the Wenja population could do, and that really makes it dope, because you could also, as well as there's other animals around the world, and that you can also tame. You can tame a bunch of animals. You can tame honey badgers, you can tame bloodfang saber-tooth, bears, all that stuff. You have an owl. Like, it's dope because they added like beasts, and not only those beasts, they don't just follow you around and do whatever you want. They attack other members, they spot enemies, like I stated earlier. It's just good, because hunting, they actually gave hunting a motive in this game. They actually gave you a reason to hunt, not just to craft, to get animal skins and whatnot, but they gave hunting a refresh of overdue that they desperately needed in Far Cry Primal, considering it was set in primal stages. So I really enjoyed hunting in this game, basically, and I really think that all future Far Cry games should be implementing these stuff in hunting. So Far Cry Primal, their hunting was really great, and it really added to the gameplay, and I enjoyed it. I can't say that I enjoyed it. So yep, let's go on to our next thing.
Okay, so another thing that previous Far Cry games are kind of well known for are side quests. Honestly, for this game, I was disappointed on this factor. I was disappointed because I know you aren't gonna have like previous Far Cry games for like races with cars or stuff like that, because obviously this is in primal stages. You're not gonna have like in Far Cry 5 where like you could fly the thingy, the American music and all that kind of jazz. That shit was fun. But anyway, I know you're not gonna be able to do this kind of stuff because it's set in primal stages. So basically, what you can expect from side quests in this game is basically just missions, and it's disappointing to me because I was expecting a little more. I was expecting Ubisoft to like pull something out of their ass that makes sense set in a primal stage, but it's fun as well. So honestly, side quest is just missions. It's just help this Wenja member find a brother, found their sister, hunt the beasts that are attacking Wenja members. All that stuff. And obviously I had to do all these side quests to get the XP, to gain the achievement where you have to unlock all the skill points, because you have to get a lot of XP for that. It felt repetitive. After a while, we're just playing there like this, like, let me just get to platinum already, because I honestly felt bored. Because I was just doing the same missions over and over. Of course, there's outposts just like in previous games. You have 15, 16, something like that. Outposts you can help, and there's like 15, 16 outposts you can claim for the Wenja, and after a while you can quick fast travel there, just like previous Far Cry games. That is good that element was still added there. Another thing that they added was bonfires, which at first I was confused on what it was. It's just another method of outposts. It's just another method of outposts. You go there, kill the members around, and then you light this like big old wooden thing on fire, and then apparently the Wenja members are like, oh, that's Wenja, let's go over here, or whatever, something like that, and you can fast travel there as well. Another thing that they had it was forts. So forts were in previous Far Cry games. I remember they were in 4. I don't remember if they were in 5 though, but I know they were in Primal, and there's only 2 in Primal, which I guess it makes sense because there's only 2 other tribes. But I kind of wish it was more. Like, honestly, the Udam one was harder to me than the Isla one was, which was funny because the Isla one said it was harder than the Udam one. The Udam one was tough because the big old like beast and the big old heavy dudes and whatnot. But honestly, it wasn't as tough as I thought it was gonna be. The Isla one was not as tough. The boss battles where they were time consuming only because the boss battles had like hell of fucking health. They had a lot of health, so you just had to throw spears at them, bows, you know what I'm saying, club them to death over and over until they actually die. The boss battles were not hard, they were just time consuming, and after a while, and when they're time consuming, you're just there doing the same thing, so it gives you more chance to accidentally press the wrong button, accidentally mess up, and then you die, and you have to repeat the whole thing over again. So basically, including like side quests in this game, there wasn't much to do in this game. After you play the story, and if you're not going for the platinum, I really don't expect you to play this game for fun. You know what I'm saying? After playing the story and doing what you want to do, after you finish a platinum, if you're a trophy hunter like myself, you're basically never gonna play this game again.
Alright, I know I stated this earlier, but I know that Primal didn't really have a lot of side quests. Most of their side quests were basically just missions. But they had forts like Far Cry 4 had in Far Cry 5. But the forts in Far Cry Primal, they were kind of a letdown, to be honest. It was just a bigger, more populated outpost. And to be honest, forts should feel more aggressive. You should feel like you have to upgrade your way to actually get there, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, you could just go there after and you could actually defeat the fort without a problem. Forts in this game were not satisfying after you beat it, because there was only 2, and it was mandatory to get these forts done so you can complete the game, which was another thing that irritated me. I wish they added more forts so you can actually gain a lot of XP and have fun playing the game while killing more tribes of the other rival tribes. But in this game, forts were, even though it is set in primal stages, maybe that's why it's not as difficult as Far Cry 4 forts were. It wasn't as hard. The Udam fort I had a kind of a trouble with. I'm not gonna lie, that one was kind of tough. But the Isla fort, I'm pretty sure I captured it in my first try, and it wasn't really that hard, considering you had the mammoth in the beginning. So I mean, yeah, the forts in this game were not difficult at all. It wasn't as tough as the previous games, and you don't feel like rewarded, or you don't feel proud of yourself after getting these forts completed, because as I stated earlier, they're a shadow of their old selves in previous Far Cry games. And that's honestly a downfall, because of I don't feel satisfied after defeating these forts. Why else do of these forts weren't mandatory to 100% the game, I wouldn't even bother with these forts because um they're not challenging and they're not a great experience. I mean, it is fun to kill Tremor, but that thing gets like, it gets repetitive after a while. What I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's basically all I had to talk about. Side quests and the forts. I just had to talk about the forts real quick. That's it.
Okay, now let's talk about the map, which is always important in an open world game. So the map to me was not too big, not too small. Honestly, to me, it was a perfect size, um, because this game isn't a big open world game. Oh, I'm sorry. This game isn't a big open world game, and it's not a small game either. It's just a game where you have to go from one place to another. And complaining there's fast travels in this game, to me, I don't know how else to like explain it to you guys. It was just the perfect size for this game, considering it was still set in primal stages. There's no like fast, I mean there is fast travel, but there's no like ways to get around this game fast, like cars, planes, stuff like that. So honestly, boats, so stuff like that. So considering that, I think Ubisoft did a great job in making this map, because it wasn't too big, it wasn't too small, it was perfectly sized. You know what I'm saying? Considering you could fast travel to place, it was good. But now let's talk about the activities you can do in this game.
Alright, like I stated earlier, this map in this game was actually pretty fun. It wasn't too big, it wasn't too small, like I stated earlier, but I'm not going to keep repeating that. But what I do want to talk about is there was a lot of, surprisingly, there was kind of a lot of stuff to do in this game, because not only do you have hunting, you can go around, hunt different animals for their skin so you can craft better weapons, like it was in previous Far Cry games. So I'm not really going to go into depth to that. But the new thing here was caves. In caves, there was just so much stuff you can do in caves. Not every cave was similar. Sometimes there was puzzles that you had to go through in certain caves. It was fun. And the thing is that you can go this whole game without even going inside of a cave. But if you're trying to get the platinum in this game, and you got to get the collectibles, it forces you to go into these caves that you wouldn't have gone either of you wouldn't have gone in. And that's actually a dope idea, because if you don't care about like collectibles, you're probably never gonna go into a cave. But since you are doing collectibles, some collectibles are inside of caves, and some of them are a bitch and I have to get. I swear, some were tough to get. But honestly, doing the collectibles made me go inside the caves, obviously, and the caves were just fun. I was like, these caves they're not like as fun, like the funnest thing in the game, but they're an interesting little activity to do that you're doing, but you're also trying to get the 100% by getting the collectible, which I found interesting and I found pretty fun. These caves were honestly pretty dope, and I hope in a new or in other Far Cry games they're being implemented as well, because caves were something new in this game, and they were pretty dope. I'll tell you what, considering this is in primal stages, there were a lot of caves back then, but yeah, this was pretty dope. I give applause to this. The caves were pretty dope.
Okay, now let's talk about the platinum. So this is for y'all trophy hunters. To me, it was an easy platinum. It took me about 60 hours to get the platinum. As you saw in the gameplay, it took me about 60 hours to finish the platinum. It didn't take me that long. It wasn't hard. It was just time consuming. The most difficult trophy here was probably to unlock all the skills, and not because, like I said before, not because it was hard, but because it was time consuming. You had to finish all the side quests. At least I did. I don't know if there was a different method of unlocking a lot of XP. But what I had to do is finish the main story, finish all the side quests, like do a lot of hunting, and then the forts obviously, and then I had to restart the outpost and then claim them again, which was, ooh, it was infuriating, because you needed like a lot of XP to unlock all the trophies. That probably is the trophy that took me the longest. Like I said before, not because it was hard, but it was because time consuming, and that's just because it's a grind, basically. It's a grind. If you're willing to play this game for a while, I don't know how other people play this game in 40 hours. I don't know. I think that there's some methods I didn't do, because I played the story first, and then I got all the other platinums or all the other trophies, which they probably like got the trophies while playing the story. That's probably what I should have done as well. But I just wanted to enjoy my Far Cry Primal experience. I just wanted to enjoy my Far Cry Primal series. It's a grind. You can finish all the other. You can finish, like, you can do what I did. You can finish all the other trophies after you beat the game, which, considering the game is like really short, it's not that hard, and it's honestly an easy platinum. If you're looking for a cheap game that's like a little older now, and it's a fun game. If you're looking for a cheap fun game that you want to platinum, that's not too hard. Look no further. Far Cry Primal is a good. It's not an embarrassing platinum to have on your collection, but just know that a lot of other people have this platinum as well, because it had like a 3% platinum rate, and that's kind of high. All right, everybody, and now it's time for me to talk about my overall review of the game. You know, as you can see, I'm wearing different clothes. I had to record this a little later, but I only had to finish a review. So overall, it's a great game. If you enjoyed the previous Far Cry games like I did, I would advise you at least give it a shot. You might not enjoy it, but you might. So it's always best for you to you know, play the game in order to find out if you enjoy it or not. For example, me, I like I mentioned earlier, I love the Far Cry franchise. And I'm really excited about Far Cry 6. But I love the Far Cry franchise. And when I saw this, I was kind of nervous. You know what I'm saying? I know I stated this earlier, but this is the overall recap. I was nervous. How is this game going to implement previous Far Cry elements that I loved and enjoyed playing? But honestly, it implemented well. This whole time, like I said earlier, it felt like I was playing a Far Cry game, and that's a big old positive. Although I was really iffy when I bought the game, but it turned out great. Obviously, it's not the best in the franchise. If you're expecting Far Cry Primal to blow out all the other Far Cry games, be realistic. That's not gonna happen here. It was more of a spin-off Far Cry game than a actual Far Cry game, considering it's not Far Cry 6. But honestly, it wasn't the best in the franchise, but it wasn't a bad game. It was still a good game, considering it wasn't the best Far Cry game. Honestly, I mean, it's dirt cheap nowadays, but sometimes it can be kind of expensive on Amazon, like 15 bucks. I would not recommend paying that. For example, I bought the game for 10 bucks on the PlayStation Store, because if I had the physical copy, I would be showing you the game, but I don't have the physical copy. So honestly, I would recommend you picking up the game when it's a little bit cheaper, but then again, it's 4 years old. If you want to pay it for 15 bucks, go ahead. I would go for it, but I just saw it on special, and I heard a lot of good things about it, and I never actually had the chance to pick it up. Yeah, it's sure, it's a Far Cry game. Like I said earlier, it feels like a Far Cry game. It plays like a Far Cry game, but it's not exactly a Far Cry game. If you catch what I'm saying, it's a Far Cry game. Like the name's Far Cry, it plays like Far Cry games. But at times when you're playing the game, it feels like a whole completely different universe. It feels like a whole completely different series. It feels like something completely new that you never ever played before, and that's something I gotta give mad props to, because like I said earlier, I was iffy playing this game, but it felt like a Far Cry game. But during some missions, during some cutscenes, during some situations, etc., it didn't feel like a Far Cry game. And that's honestly something I gotta give mad props to Ubisoft, because they created something that works. They have something that works. The Far Cry elements, they have something that works on one hand, and something that they know that their fans enjoy and love playing. But they also have something new, a new atmosphere, a new adventure, a new methods of doing stuff. And they smashed those two together, and what they got was Far Cry Primal. Although it has its flaws, bugs, the game crashed for me a lot of times. Not a lot of times, the game crashed for me once while playing it. I got plenty of glitches that I had to actually close the app and then open it back up. Although it's not a great game, nobody's saying it is. It's a really good game for the price now. And if you're a platinum hunter and if you haven't gotten this platinum, I would really recommend you go ahead and do it. It's not hard, like I said earlier. It's not time consuming. Well, hold on, and it is time consuming, but it's not as long as other platinums would take you to take. But honestly, out of 10, my review for Far Cry Primal is a 7 out of 10. Again, positives have to be, obviously, the positives. Let me look at my notebook real quick. Sorry. The positives are the gameplay, the map, and the main story at times. The flaws of the game were the characters, the side quest, and that's basically it. The characters and the side quests, and considering there was no character development on players and no actual antagonist. So there you have it, folks. I successfully platinum Far Cry Primal, and I'm now currently going to platinum Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. I'm currently working on Uncharted 1. I'm currently platinum that game. I already platinum 4, so I'm not gonna make a video about that. Unless y'all guys want me to, I can make a video about it, even though I don't have the footage of me actually platinuming it. I only have the screenshot, which I can show y'all guys. But anyway, this has been my review of Far Cry Primal. As you can see, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Please let me know what you think about the game personally. If you've played the game, tell me what you think about it. Am I wrong? Am I right? Did you think the story was better than I gave it props? Do you think the gameplay was not as great? Do you think the characters were actually better than I gave props? Please let me know that in the comment section. I would love to interact with y'all guys. And if you haven't played the game, honestly, me, Chris speaking, I would recommend it. So there you have it, folks. My review on Far Cry Primal. Hope y'all guys enjoyed, and I hope y'all guys stick around for the series, because I'm planning on making a lot of more videos about this series. And obviously, the more videos I make, the more my camera quality is gonna improve. Sorry, and all that jazz. So hope y'all guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and bye.